Good morning, happy Monday. Welcome to the Pinstripe Chronicles. I am Uncle Tats, and this is a very somber day in Yankee land. The end of the season has officially come. We've known this day was coming, but it doesn't mean it hurts any less. It was a very, very disappointing season. There was some highlights, some downlights, and all that other shit in between. Bad coaching, bad general manager, confusing owner that didn't know why we were all pissed off. We've touched on a lot of these throughout the season. And unfortunately, I am solo right at the moment. Rob will be taking a little bit of a leave as he's dealing with some things that, personally. And let's just wish him our best and hope he comes back soon to get into more of a deep dive of the off season. Donald might be coming in. I don't know. He's also dealing with some personal issues, so I don't want to dive too much into that. But we will be carrying on. This is what we do. The show goes on. But let's give a quick shout out to the chat because you guys day in day out always show up, and we got Jonathan here. Yankees need to focus on left field, starting pitching, left-handed hitting. That should be underlined, Jonathan. Left-handed hitting and getting on base more. That was the G. Michaels method. Build your roster to the stadium. Don't just go after the best guys on the market because they might not fit into the calibrations of the short porch. Sunil, my co-host tonight, and tonight's going to be a fire show. I'm going to be talking with Sunil after the show about it, but I got something really special and something very fun to kind of get our minds off of the end of the season. But Yankees couldn't have gone on base even if Google Maps gave them the proper guidance on how and whether it would go through without toll massages. That was toll. Okay. NFE, good morning. What's going on? And NFE always in the chats. Dev Finch, let's also wish Dev a very happy birthday. It is his birthday today, and let's all show him a little bit of love. So we had what was the expectations. We were told for years and years and years, this is a championship caliber organization, a fully operational Death Star, and all that other bullshit, right? And that's really all it is. It's just lip service and it's bullshit. It means nothing. They're just words. Cashman has shown in Hall of Fame caliber that he is as inept as a GM in today's day of baseball than anybody I have ever seen. You could pick somebody off the street and they could do a better job. Unless your name is L.I. But L.I., we all love him. What's going on, Mr. Barrows? And Damien's in the building too. What's going on, Damien? And Mr. Barrows, you deserve a lot of credit because you called this record a month ago. Ever since you started hanging out with us in the mornings, you said 82 and 80, and that's exactly right. That's what they did. So hats off to you. You called it. You win. And we always appreciate everybody that hangs out with us. Yeah, my prediction, Li will pop on in about 25 minutes. Yeah. Li is going to come in after we talk about some trades. And then he's going to try to, throw his 2 cents into it, which will not make any sense. Although Li, we have to give him credit. He was right about a few, he did have a lot of things right. Unfortunately, one of the things he had said was that Michael King should be a starting pitcher. I still think that's true. I'm not disappointed with last night's outing. It was the last game of the year. They all knew there was nothing to play for, and it just kind of you could just see that they were checked out in this Royal Series. There was, they weren't playing a team that they were going to be spoiling, because they did elevate their competitiveness against the Blue Jays, even though they still lost to them. You saw that they were trying hard not to be the one team in the AL that wasn't going to make it, along with the Red Sox. All right, so when you get, I don't think we could take yesterday's game with any. Yeah, Dev, how was I not going to remember your birthday? Give me a look. Yeah, look, I can be a very, very forgetful host. I really can. I don't claim to have the best memory for shit, but I was not going to forget your birthday. So happy birthday, Dev. I'll even say it again. Yeah, and I agree. We did agree with Li on certain things, right? And one of the things I think that, and let's give a few minutes because we have time, right? There's so much to unwrap here. 43 years old. Yep, I'm 43. I'll be 44 at the end of the month. So I'm right there with you, Dev. One of the things that Li predicted was the down season for DJ LeMahieu, and it really made me start to think: when we latch onto a player, right? Are we over hyping some of the players that we kind of wrap our love around for? We all loved LeMahieu and what he was able to do. He had the batting title in 2020. He was the first winner of the utility Gold Glove, which is a big deal. That's gonna be a future trivia question down, years down the road. Li took a big decline this year. No, LeMahieu took a big decline this year. Do we overemphasize the players that we like? Do we hype them up so much that we refuse to see the deficiency? I think that's something that we have to really think about as the future starts to unravel in this with this roster. We wanted to see Severino succeed for so long, just wasn't able to do it. I'm starting to feel that Rizzo might be, a liability into next year. I don't want him to be. I'm hoping that he's able to come back. But when you're dealing with a concussion and the fact that it was neglected for as long as it had been, what's Rizzo's abilities, going to be into next year? That's a big question mark. But what I'm saying, overhyped at NFE, right? Because he goes, I don't think DJ was overhyped. Prior to the Yankees, he was one of the players at the Rocky. It was the re-signing, right? We all we have to get him. We have to get him. The same thing with Rizzo. We have to keep him. We have to keep him. We have to keep him. And then we see that age catches up to everybody, whether it's right away, whether it takes a few years. I was ecstatic when they got Stanton. I remember Met fans calling me saying, how is baseball allowing the Yankees to make such a ridiculous trade? Why are they getting him for so cheap? This is not fair. The Yankees, they always stack all the good players. I heard it all. Right? Now you couldn't pay a Met fan to be like, yeah, I would take him. They thought that Stanton was going to be a Met. And when he went to the Yankees, they all threw a fit. So, you have to take, especially with athletes, and it's very unfair. You got to take it season by season, right? I actually agree, Mr. Barrows. I think DJ and Rizzo should platoon first base. I don't think they should both be playing every day. just because you want to get the most out of those contracts. Um, is it time to move on from DJ? Perhaps. I don't know. I think LeMahieu still has value somewhere. I don't think he's done. I really don't. I think DJ is one of those we we can really get our money's worth out of DJ. And I think another team would not be opposed to taking on that contract. It's a very team friendly contract. DJ is very movable. I do think so. It all depends on the off-season development of a lot of these kids, as well. It's Olsen and Freeman, Damian. I agree. It should have been them. I really championed. I really rallied for Rizzo because he just seemed to fit New York so well. He was always somebody. He's overcome a lot in his career. He had the World Series. With the Cubs. He understood the pressure. See, here's one of the things that gets underrated about Rizzo, right? Say, they keep him when they signed him. He was a little older. He had won a World Series with the Cubs after with a 108-year drought, and he rose to the pressure flawlessly. They don't make athletes like that anymore. They really don't. It's usually all about how am I going to get the most, the biggest contract? How am I going to get the most out of it? And me. How many awards can I get? It's a very selfish society when in sports these days. It's all about the individual acclimate. It's never about the team anymore. Rizzo's about the team, which is why him and Judge became such close friends. And I really believe that Rizzo he wants to end the Yankees World Series drought. He really does. If they would have passed on Rizzo and gotten an Olsen or Freeman, there's nobody in their right mind that would have said, "Oh, that's the wrong move." No, not one person. It was you had three options. They went with the guy that was already here and wanted to stay. No fault in that. I don't think we can blame Cashman for that because we all were screaming, you got to keep Rizzo. You got to keep Rizzo. His dog and Judge's dog playing on the field, for Christ's sakes. They had that camaraderie, and you don't see that a lot. I don't see it enough. You had guys like Cole sitting with all the young pitchers, in the dugout, going over things. Cole talks more baseball than everybody. Always said that A-Rod was very big with talking baseball constantly. I think Cole is even more than that than A-Rod, because Cole also brings a very methodical approach to how he explains pitching to these kids, and they get it. He explains it in a way that they can understand, while still being very technical. So Cole, to me, co-captain. Okay. All right. Let's get some more of these comments here. Then I'm going to bring up some graphics from Yes Network's X page, Twitter, whatever. The next season will be the defining season for DJ. Another season with Casey to build on what he did in the second half. Absolutely. There was something that went around that Casey was already invited to be, to stay on as the coach. And then he had come out and says that nobody's told to him yet. So there's a lot of confusion with that. But that is something that I think all of us are watching very closely to see what happens. I think Sean Casey should stay. I think he did a phenomenal job. He came into it, he came into a failing situation. And as soon as he came in, you saw the at-bats starting to improve. The results might not have been there, but you saw the approach of the at-bats. There was, really being more. There was an attempt to be more patient at the plate. So I really think that's the Casey effect. Anthony Garcia, what's going on, guy? Medina, morning. So it's one of these. It's really hard. That there's no see. That's the trouble, and that's the problem. There's no clear cut person, player, coach, any, There's only one There's only one manager, you know, one owner that's in the spotlight, one GM. So those three guys are always those are gonna get the biggest targets. But there's no one player that you could say, there's the reason why we lost. There's the reason it didn't work. There is no clear cut guy. You want to put all the blame on Stanton? Go ahead. But what was everybody else doing? It was, you had, you lost Judge. Yeah, you were up by 13 minutes. What's going on, LI? You missed your little bit of props earlier. But you could have, you could easily say, it was, Volpe not being, not having a rookie of the year season. Right. Would I use DJ for trade bait? I would. At this stage, I would. We need something. We need. I think we're going to need to have significant changes throughout this roster. I think this is, and I've said it. They've said it on Morning Brew Sports. This Jason 161. He's brought it up. Pete and the NYY Underground. This is, and all you guys in the chat. This is Cashman's defining offseason. Forget 09, right? That's long. That's in the past. And there was still, you had some of the roster that was on that hangover, that was still around from the Stick Michael. Right? You still had, Jeter and Mariano. You had brought Pettit back. This is going to be the offseason that makes or breaks Brian Cashman. I firmly believe that. There's no way that he could just half-ass this offseason and expect to have any respect in the industry. I think that if he botches this, his legacy is just shattered beyond repair. All right. Well, let's bring in this graphic that I got here. All right. Let's see if this pulls up at the stage. Let's make it a little bigger for you guys. So, we have right here, all right, this graphic is on the Twitter page for the Yes Network. All right. It's 82 and 80 record, fourth in the AL East. Do we really care that we didn't finish, that we weren't in the basement? We should have been. We played like we were in the basement half of the year. Right. The second one here, all right. The 227 average, 4.2 runs. 29th in the MLB in average. Only Oakland was worse. How fucking pathetic is that? How sad is that? You already had NFE, how too? You're right. So, you say, that myself and every other content creator has entered full LI mode in trading LeMahieu. It's called recognizing the issue. Okay. We wanted to believe that LeMahieu was going to just go right back to being the old LeMahieu after an offseason resting, and it just didn't happen. You get to these points where reality has to set in, and you have to stop looking at take the fan glasses off and put on like your front office glasses to realize, all right, we wanted this to work. It's not working. Okay. that's where we're falling into with LeMahieu because he does. And LI, we already gave you the credit, but I'll say it one more time. The opportunity, he's the guy to move. He's only going to age further. He's not going to, the clock doesn't go backwards on these guys. So while you still can make a move on him, and also while you have, his contract, like I said, very team friendly. It's a very movable contract. You can get somebody to grab him, no problem. You put him in Arizona in a utility role, he would kill it. I think he would do very well out there. But some of we also have the missed games from Aaron Judge. Right, he missed 42 games from June 4th to July 27th. The Yankees with 19-23 record over that span. Let's get a little bit into Judge here. All right. Sunil, look, we'll get back to LeMahieu in a second. All right. We got the big contract to Judge, no problem. Right? We all wanted it. What's going on, Donna? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the chat. Hope you enjoy yourself. Let's all welcome Donna. She said, let the Mets have him. He's a Yankee has-been now. Are you referring to Stanton, DJ, or other? Donna, just let us know so we know who you want to move, who you want to throw to the other borough. So we had Judge, right? He missed the 42 games. We see the record. When he came back, right, a lot of people were saying, like we all said it on the shows, just keep yourself relevant until, you want Judge to go to the Mets? Wow. Okay. What? Just, I know that was a big, you threw me off with Judge. I thought you were going to drop Stanton's name, Donna. I really did. Why Judge? And just remember, I know a lot of people are big Judge fans. I am. Let's just remember to, as always, and nobody's ever had an issue. Just respect everybody's opinions and their points of view. You want to debate? That's fine. Just be respectful. It was just stay relevant until Judge came back, right? That was the big ask, right? Like I said, we talked about it a lot. Oh, because you're a Mets fan. Okay. Now it makes sense, Donna, but all love. Now I get where you're coming from. Yeah, we'll give you LeMahieu, and you can give us. We'll take Alonso. How about that? We'll trade you. Let's switch it up a little bit with Donna here. All right, let's welcome her in with some fun interactions with everybody. If you were to trade, who would you trade for from the Mets? Like, what do you think would be a fun trade? All right, just throw those into the chat, and we'll have a little bit of fun. All right, just everybody, just be nice. So, we wanted the Yankees to stay afloat while Judge was out. Right? I think I said that 3 times already, but hey, yeah, my cousin has company now. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see Nick in here for a while. We didn't have the best interactions the last time, but when Judge came back, we were 2 games out of the wild card spot, and we still kept slipping further and further away. So there was a radio host on the Fan. I'm not going to call him out. That said, maybe Judge was the problem. Maybe Judge isn't as good as we think he is. He's not a guy that can carry a team. Newsflash: this isn't football. This isn't basketball. It's not a one-person sport. You can't have one superstar carry a team. You can't expect, the same results in their respective sports that you get from Judge than you get from LeBron James. It just doesn't. No. You know what, Damian? It wasn't Sal. Sal was one of them, but the one I heard, it wasn't Sal. Believe me, I am not a fan of Sal. I think he's an entertaining radio personality, but I a lot of his takes, I just can't. I turn the radio off. Give us the trumpet too, Sunil. McNeil, Senga, and the trumpet. And no, they can't have Judge, but I would give them. I gotta think about that. Was it Omar from Brooklyn? I don't know. The disparities between the sports, right? Because they were like, you can't expect Judge. Look, what Judge did in the year of '62, it was that was unprecedented. You're not going to see that. Yeah, no, it was Brandon. Brandon was feeding it first, and that was before the that's where I heard it, and it was one of the shows where Sal was not around. Because originally I would have been like, oh, I would have said the same thing you did, Damien. Oh, that had to be that had to be Sal. Sal he's a very cranky motherfucker. I know Francesa used to get on the callers a lot, but at least, yeah, Francesa was just a different level. He was a little more professional about it. Yeah, let's go, Brandon. You can't put the pressure on one player. Judge was not going to. I thought, listen, always. See you next week on the Osprey. Definitely. Now I know where I know your name from. Donna, great to see you on the chat. Thanks for coming to hang out. And yeah, I'll see you on the boat. And so I knew that name looked familiar. And so it's we want so badly to point the blame at somebody. Oh, John. You're a dick. Why don't you just come on your real fucking name, you asshole? I'm like, Donna, I okay. Now you got me all fucked up. You're an asshole. I'm cutting your line next week. But it's let's get to Steven's comment here. It's not my friend John just pissed me off because he got me all fucked up. Judge had carried the team with home runs last year. It's not a one person team, but he did put us in the playoffs last year. And him going down this year killed our team. No one stepped up. Exactly, Steven. Nobody stepped up. All right. Where was Stanton to carry carry the team like he did when he first got here? When the both of them were taking turns of who was on the IL, right? At least we had Stanton for a little bit of while to kind of carry the torch. We only had any productivity from Glaber in the second half. Although overall he had good numbers throughout. Right? So. Yeah, and my friend got me pissed off because when you recognize the name, and I talk to so many people when I'm out fishing, I never fucking put it together. But yeah, I'll break his balls later. But yeah, that's my friend John. He's great people. So we'll move on from that. It's trying not to, overextend the whole discussion, but you cannot expect even with the captaincy, right, and all the expectations coming into this year, we can't rely on one player to carry this team. Judge can't do it by himself. Like I said, he can't bat one all 9 spots in the lineup. He can't be the pitcher, the reliever, and everything else in between. He can only do what he's able to do. He's a big guy, right? But he's also very athletic. We didn't see, he was getting, the year he had the 60, in 2022 season. He was also stealing bases at a nice clip. We didn't see a lot. We didn't see a lot of. He really didn't run a lot, especially obviously after the injury. What really got me a little annoyed was they had options in their minor leagues to kind of make the blow of losing Judge a little easier. They held back Florial for so fucking long. There was your window to bring him up, to give him significant at bats and get this ball rolling. But that did not happen. They just kept fucking everything up. They went to release it. They tried to DFA him, and they didn't. Nobody picked him up. And it wasn't until the last week of the season, when they lost Dominguez, that's when they decided, all right, we have no other option, so let's bring up Florial. What does that do for his confidence? This guy's playing for his future. He's playing he wants to make a living. He wants to play baseball, and they held him back. Some of the things, that we're going to really dive deeper in, over the next couple of weeks. The effects of with having Donaldson on the roster, the whole situation with Hicks. It was just, if they could, Damian, facts. If they would have called up the right players instead of Bowers and McKinney, they could have gone probably 500 and made a wild card. Yeah, absolutely. It's this all boils down to Cashman. And Cashman's inability in today's baseball to put a roster together. That's what it comes down to. But we're stuck with him though. There's nothing we can do about it. But we're gonna make this a little bit of a short show. I do have some contractors coming to give me some estimates. I'm going to be doing some work on my house, but before we'll talk for a few more minutes. And so I just wanted to kind of give a few people, come on. I didn't want to cancel the show, with Rob and Donald dealing with things, because I did want to make sure. I promised Dev that we would have a show today. So I did want to come on and again wish Dev a happy birthday. We always love all you guys and the support you give us. Couple of other real quick. Tonight we will still be doing the Pinstripes After Dark with Sunil and I, and we're going to be talking tattoos. So, of course, baseball highlights, but we'll be having to talk about tattoos. What you have, why you got them, what you would get if you ever were to get one, if you don't have. So I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, tonight's going to be a little bit of fun. I want to peel back from the baseball talk a little bit more tonight, and just really, it's going to be anything goes tonight. But I think it would be a lot. I think the midnight shows are fun, just to kind of throw different things into the discussion aside from baseball. Some of the other things that'll be coming up. Yeah, you'll have to have Rob send it to me, Mr. Barros. I'd like to see it. It's we're going to be going through a few changes. It goes some NFE. Sometimes it always goes off the rails. Um, that goes without saying. But we're going to be talking. We'll be working out collaborations with the Morning Brew Sports. We're going to team up on a few shows with them when we can. We also will be doing a few shows with Jason from 161. We're in the mix of trying to set some of that up, where Jason and I are going to be giving our playoff brackets uh, and where we think everybody's going to end up. And then also, um, myself and Jason are going to plan on live streaming on his channel the unveiling of who wins the Cy Young. So that should be a fun collab there with Jason. I always enjoy working with him. But just remember, tune in tonight. Cobra Kai pickleball tattoos for me tonight. Okay. You already know Sunil's going to bring up, but we're going to be coming in with a few different things. We're going to make, obviously, nobody from the none of the hosts are going anywhere, but we're not sure exactly. I know Hector and TC are going to be continuing their shows on certain days, and same thing with Pete and some of the other guys, a lot of the other channels. We're going to be scaling back a little bit of ourselves. Obviously, there's no day-to-day games to discuss, but we will be doing probably 2 shows a week in the off season, maybe more depending on the headlines. And so same thing that we go through every year. We know the off season is a little bit slow. Other sports come into the fold where nobody's really paying attention, but we do enjoy that you guys just continue to come out and support us. Well, that is going to wrap things up for me. Opening, guys, I didn't bore you guys too much. A little bit of a dreary morning. It's just a shame that the season did end. It can't get worse than this. And the other thing, I'm going to bring up one more thing before I sign off. This whole thing where everyone's like, everybody was critiquing the term winning season because we finished above 500. Right? The way I look at it, I'm glad that and it's twofold. I'm glad that they were able to finish above 500. I think that was something that was very important. Right? I wanted to, if we weren't going to get anywhere, I at least wanted to keep that going. But let's be honest. It's a participation trophy the way I look at it. It's meaningless. It's just something to put on the shelf to collect dust. So, but we at least will be able to keep the streak alive. Because streaks are, when it's a sports fan, streaks are important. It is important. We want to see those streaks going. We want to see streaks end. Like the losing streak or the lack of a World Series appearance. Winning the title. Those are the streaks we want to see end, and they're the streaks we want to see continue. Right? But it was a participation trophy. It's what Jonathan here. What would be worse if nothing changes for next year? Jonathan, if nothing changes next year, me and you, we're going to throw down with Cashman. We're going after him. All right? Me and you. All right? I'll even let you throw the first punch. But yeah, Cashman better not do nothing. If he does nothing this year, he's not going to be able, like he said, when they were talking about trading Glaber and he made that comment, I also got to walk the streets of New York. If he does nothing, he'll never be able to leave his house again. So he'll have to hide in his office. Oh, yeah, NFE, yeah, you got it. We'll get the whole line going. But we're going to wrap things up for me. And as always, we'll be back tonight, midnight. And we'll look forward to that. Let's say we're going to talk about a few different things. Yep. Boils down to them. No, I don't trust Cashman either. I have no. I do. I have. How do I put this where it can make sense? I have faith that he's going to make changes, but I don't trust that they're going to be the right changes. If that makes any sense for anybody, and I'll leave you with that little bit of confusing thought. So, on behalf of everybody else on the Pinstripe Chronicles family, I am Uncle Tats, and as I always say, wear those pinstripes with pride and play hard.